and welcome to the Week 22 edition of Instant Replay, where I give you my take on the most controversial calls of the weekend. I'm Simon Borg. We start with arguably the most blatant red card of the year. Sunday at Toyota Park, it's Chicago Fire midfielder Matt Watson going in with the flying two-footed lunge on Rolando Escobar. Easy call for referee Jair Marufo, and Watson doesn't even argue it. Just a few minutes later, the 10-man Fire were awarded a penalty kick that sealed the affair against FC Dallas. It's Kellen Acosta kicking the right leg of Kennedy Igbonanike, who was heading away from goal. Stephen Kipple felt it wasn't a foul, but Stevie, you're wrong. Totally unnecessary foul, but totally legit PK. I'll tell you who should have had a penalty: Columbus Crew SC. It was 1-1 in the 29th minute when Orlando's Tyler Turner clears this ball off the line with his arm. That should have been a penalty and a red card in my opinion, but referee Ricardo Salazar doesn't call it. Could there also have been a red card shown at PPL Park? Check out the play for yourself. It's 0-0 in the 51st minute when Red Bull's defender Damian Perinel brings down CJ Sapong, who was sprinting in on goal. Is it denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, however? Obvious being the key word. I'm not so sure given the foul happens 40 to 45 yards away from goal. I agree with referee Armando Villarreal on this one. Yellow's the right call. Moving to San Jose, where Diego Valeri probably should have had a penalty in the 20th minute on this challenge from Fatai Alashe. Good shot from Ben James on Twitter. But he earned one anyway in the 74th minute. Quakes defender Sean Francis kicks Valeri's right foot here and sends him flying. But the Timbers playmaker couldn't find the back of the net, and the match finished 0-0. The Seattle Sounders should have had a penalty, in my opinion, in the 41st minute of their game against Vancouver. Seattle's down 1-0 when Pa Maruka deflects the ball with his elbow/forearm. Referee Mark Geiger doesn't call it. To Yankee Stadium, where there were two penalties called, one each for NYCFC and Montreal, but I'm not so sure either of them were PKs. In the 67th minute, Montreal's Ambrazo Yongo slides in front of Tammy McNamara and the ball, and I don't think he commits a foul. Referee Jose Carlos Rivero thinks otherwise, and he points to the spot. David Villa buries it. Then the referee also punished goalkeeper Josh Saunders in the 83rd minute for allegedly tripping up Montreal's Ignacio Piatti. But I don't see the foul here either. No matter, Piatti steps up to score his second goal of the game. I thought Rivero could have handed out a straight red card in this one. In the 43rd minute, New York's Jefferson Mena sends his elbow right into the back of Dominic Oduro's head. You see how at the last second, Mena's outstretched arm turns into a cocked elbow. But the Colombian gets away with merely a caution for reckless play. To Sporting Park, where our friend Hunter Daughtridge says Roger Espinoza should have been punished with a red card in the 68th minute, and I agree. Espinoza goes in, studs up and over the ball, and gets the goalkeeper right in the shin. Just brutal. Houston's Nathan Sturgis was the one who saw red in this one with 4 minutes left. And on first glance, it looked legit. But when we watch the replay, maybe a yellow for reckless play would have been more appropriate. That being said, you could make the argument that the tackle endangered the safety. But I don't see many arguments on the disputed handball and stoppage time. It looks to me like Houston's Luis Garrido swats at the ball, but referee Jorge Gonzalez doesn't call it, and initially indicates that the ball caromed off Garrido's hip. After the match, the referee clarified that he thought the handball was not deliberate and that Garrido's arm was in a natural playing position. After seeing the replay, I can't say I agree. There was no disputing that Josie Altidore deserved his red card in Foxboro for this kick out at defender Jose Gonçalves. Easy call for referee Chris Penso, who also correctly called a penalty against Toronto just a few minutes later. Damian Perquis takes Kellen Rowe for a spin, and Lee Wynn steps up to convert. The match finished 3-1, but there was a question about the Revolution's third goal. Ivan on Twitter claims Charlie Davies is offside, and it's true he's off on the initial cross. But Toronto's Benoit Cheyrou makes a play on the ball and erases the offside, according to the new interpretation of the offside rule. Good goal and great job by assistant Mike Kampminer to keep his flag down. Great eye by referee Baldomero Toledo at RFK Stadium, where he spotted this tug in the box by Devin Sandoval on Bobby Boswell. We got some tweets arguing it was a dive by Boswell, but no way! Sandoval gets him, and Chris Rolfe buries the PK to tie the match 2-2. But RSL should have probably had a PK of their own just 2 minutes later. Taylor Camp goes after the player instead of the ball and brings down Olmes Garcia in the process. Looked like a foul to me, but Toledo doesn't call it, and DC go on to win 6-4. And we end at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, where Kelly Littlefield wanted a red card on Edson Buttle for this foul on Bobby Burling in the 80th minute. But Buttle doesn't lead with his elbow, and I think yellow was the right call by referee Juan Guzman. And now comes a slightly trickier play. It's the 88th minute, and LA Steven Gerrard kicks the ball into the face of Rapids attacker Juan Ramirez, who was fouled. When we watch the play in real time, Gerrard's kick and the whistle from the referee happen simultaneously.
And the Rapids, though, do something.
So to answer Jason Acey on Twitter, I do not think you can show the straight red to Gerrard in that spot because of that very reason. The kick and the whistle happen at the same time. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and keep using that hashtag instant replay. Until next week, for our editor Will Walsh, I'm Simon Borg. See you next time!